Welcome to Kundalini for Enneagram Type 2. I'm Nina. I'll be leading the practice today. So just to start off, we'll be doing some things that are on our mat, but this isn't like a typical vinyasa-based class where there's sun salutations or a lot of movement on our feet. So we'll predominantly be on our mat. So if you want to grab anything soft to put on the mat, so here I have kind of like a little rug, another layer, especially if you're going to be on your knees and that'll add some cushioning, then I recommend grabbing a blanket, perhaps a soft covering, even like a rolled up like towel underneath the knees as an option, pillows nearby, anything that can help you feel more comfortable. So, and once you do find whatever can help become more comfortable, then just find a comfortable seated position on the mat. You can sit on the edge of a block like I am here, or you can sit on the edge of a pillow or a blanket, or you may not even need anything. And just finding a moment, we're just going to briefly just ground ourselves before I'll explain a little bit more about what Kundalini is. And then we'll tune in with our mantras, and then we will go into the Enneagram practice. So let's just take this moment to just tune into where we are right now. Noticing the breath. Noticing the sensations of the body. Noticing what may be going on in the mind. We're simply observing. We're not judging or labeling anything as good or bad, right or wrong. And gently open the eyes if they were closed. So, for those of you who may be new to Kundalini, like I was saying before, it's a type of practice, type of yoga practice, but it's not the traditional type of practice that we see in yoga studios. So there aren't sun salutations. There's not a lot of movement from, one asana to the other in the same way that we may see in a more hatha-based class. Kundalini is really about the subtle energy that is in our body. So it's really working with our inner world, which all of yoga really is working with our inner world. Kundalini is mainly focused on moving that energy that is in us, our prana, which is our life force, really moving that up and about and out of the body. And you may ask, well, is it not always up and about in the body? And in fact, prana can get trapped in our body, similar to how we can have pain trapped in our body or trauma trapped in our body. And those are two ways that prana can be blocked from moving. If you see this banner to my right, that is depicting the chakras in ancient philosophy. And really, prana wants to move through these chakras, starting at the base of our spine, up through and out of the crown of our head. And when we deal with negativity in life, toxicity, toxic situations, trauma, painful transitions, sickness, many other factors can play a role in trapping that energy in our body, and it's not allowed to move freely. And so the Kundalini practice really involves what we call kriyas, or movements, actions, and they're repetitive a little bit in nature. And that's really intentional because it really allows for us to help wake up any dormant prana, any dormant energy in the body. And the more that our energy is able, our prana is able to flow freely, the more that we have vitality and engagement with the world around us. And the more that we're releasing these blocks, right? And this could be emotional blocks or spiritual blocks, mental, physical blocks. that essentially are preventing us from being in true alignment with ourselves and in the ways that we live our life. So Kundalini is really dealing with the subtle energy that is in the body. So to start off with our practice, if you saw my emails, we're going to start off by chanting 2 mantras. The first one is the Adi mantra, and that is allowing for us to tune into our higher consciousness, our higher wisdom. And feel free to just listen. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. If you do want to, the words that we're going to be saying are Ong Namo, Guru Dev Namo. So let's bring our palms together at the heart, closing our eyes or keeping a soft gaze open. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Another deep inhale in, and we'll begin. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And again, inhale in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Third and final time, inhale in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. You can release the hands, just noticing what is coming up for us. Noticing sensations in the body. Noticing how sound affects us, whether we produce sound or just heard it. You can gently blink open the eyes for a moment. We're going to follow the Adi mantra with the Mangala Charan mantra. And that is a protection that we are setting for us as we move through our Kundalini practice. Imagining that we are projecting out this energetic field around us through our practice. So once again, feel free to just listen, or you can chime in. So we'll repeat this 5 times, and it's really 4 lines. So we'll be saying Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. So we'll do this 5 times. Feel free to just listen, or you can chime in if you get more and more comfortable with the words. And we're creating this protection as we move through our energetic practice. Palms together at the heart. You can close the eyes or keep a soft gaze open. Deep inhale in through the nose. Big exhale out as a sigh. Deep inhale in as we begin. At Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. And again. At Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. And again. At Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. At Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. The last one. At Gure Name. At Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name. Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name. Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. Siddhi Gurudev Name. Release the hands. Once again, noticing our inner world, noticing the breath, sensations in the body, where the mind is. And once again, not judging or labeling anything as good or bad, right or wrong, simply just observing. And we'll gently blink open our eyes. I'm just going to briefly make sure that my volume is up. All right. All right. So now we're going to understand how Kundalini can be a really powerful practice with the Enneagram. So if you're unfamiliar with the Enneagram is really depicted a lot graphically as this circle that has a lot of connecting numbers to it. And you'll see the numbers 1 through 9. On this big circle, you'll see a triangle, and then you'll see this hexad type of structure. And the Enneagram is actually a very old symbol, a very old system. It's been around for thousands of years. The origin has been highly debated. Some think that it has an origin in Babylon in 2500 BC. So it's a very old symbol and very old sort of thought system. And in modern times, the Enneagram really is depicted as 9 personalities, but they're not just numbers. These personalities are flavored in so many ways. So they can each have the wing that flavors them, which is the number next to them. Each number goes to a certain other type in health, in stress. There's different subtypes, and no 2 personality types really appear the same. And it's really a combination of many, many ancient wisdom traditions ranging in the East into the West. So it's really attributed to many different types of philosophies. And it's a wonderful personal growth and spiritual tool, and that the Enneagram is really helping any of those that want to learn more about it to really become self-aware, to really understand what is driving us, what are we avoiding, what are some of our core fears, what are some of our shadow feelings that we don't really want to either face consciously or are unconsciously operating behind the scenes. And it's really just all about accepting, right, who we are, and going from that place of acceptance to how can we grow into more of ourselves. And I think that's a really beautiful way to have a spiritual tool and a personal growth tool. So today we're doing the Kundalini for Enneagram Type 2. And this is very dear to me because I am an Enneagram Type 2. I had quite the journey of not wanting to admit that I'm a 2. And then recently I'm like, okay, I really just am a 2. I went into a full circle. And so I can definitely speak for, my experience as well as a 2. And the core desire of the core type Enneagram 2 is really this feeling of wanting to be loved, this feeling of wanting to be wanted, wanting to be appreciated, to be seen, to be heard. And the core fear of an Enneagram 2 is not being loved or being unlovable. Being unable to be loved by others, not needed, not really wanted by others. And so a lot of the energy of the type 2 is in the heart. It's also in the feelings. So the Enneagram can be separated in many ways. One of the main ways is to group the Enneagram types in 3s based on sort of where that energy of that type is, along with the shadow message behind the type's kind of operations in life. And Enneagram types 2, 3, and 4 are all in the feelings triad, and they have a shadow of shame that can unconsciously or subconsciously be sort of driving a lot of the narratives that are appearing in life. 5, 6, and 7 of the Enneagram are in the head triad, or the fear triad. And then types 8, 9, and 1 are in the anger triad, or the gut triad, the body triad. And so with 2, the 2 is in the feelings triad, And so a lot of behaviors, a lot of narratives in life are really centered around feelings, and a lot of meaning is given by feelings. And so if we combine Kundalini with the Enneagram type 2, we're really working to kind of soothe ourselves. There can be a lot of anxiety also present with the 2 about wanting others to like us, wanting to please others, and really putting the needs of others before ourselves. And oftentimes not really being in touch with ourselves, not being in touch with our needs, not being in touch with what it is that we need. And so we can combine Kundalini in a way so that it can really help us to get back in touch with ourselves, to help us get back in touch with our needs, our feelings, our body, in a way which we may feel really disconnected from, and sort of release some of those blocks of not feeling like you are lovable, or not feeling like you can be loved. So the book that I'll be referring to is a really awesome book, and you'll see me look at it because, you know, Kundalini involves lots of intricate movements and positionings of hands and feet. It's called Head Start for Happiness, and it's a beautiful way to combine Kundalini and the Enneagram, and really specifies it for each type. So for type 2, we're going to be doing a Kriya to really help us sort of give ourselves a calm heart, and to also balance that prana, that life force in our body. So the first practice that we're going to be doing, you may have actually seen this in a yoga class in the studio. I know I certainly have taught this in my more vinyasa-based class. We're going to start off in a tabletop position. So you're going to be on your hands and your knees, so feel free to grab anything comfortable underneath your knees. You're going to lift one of your legs. So I'm lifting my left leg here, and you're going to lift the opposite arm. So you're kind of in this tabletop position. You're going to be definitely using that core. There's no breath of fire here. So just retain your normal breathing and just stay here. So just stay here. We're going to balance the prana in our body. And we'll do this for about 1:30 per side. So I'll play some music for us. So keep your normal breath. I'll let you know when we switch sides. Finding rooting in that left hand. You can keep the gaze down to help stretch out the cervical spine. Feel free to point that leg. And keep the breath normal here. We're really engaging that core as well. We're strengthening that core. And if you need to come out at any point, feel free to bring the legs down. Just hold the tabletop position. We're almost there to switch sides. And bring your palm facing down, by the way. So face your palm down. You can point that foot that's extended. Less than 30 seconds. Keep that breath moving. And release the arm, release the leg. Just take a moment to come into child's pose before we switch sides. Arms out in front of you, forehead down to the mat. And gently rise back up into tabletop, shoulders over the wrists. The knees are stacked under the hips. And lift the opposite leg and arm. No breath of fire, normal breathing here. Engage that core, palm is facing down. You can point that leg. You can keep the gaze down to lengthen that cervical spine here. Normal breath. Find that rhythm of the breath, the natural breath. We're balancing the prana in the body. We're awakening it. We're getting rid of what no longer serves us. Getting in touch with ourselves. If you need to come out at any point, feel free to come out. Listen to the wisdom of your body.
Let them echo, echo.
Less than 30 seconds, so close. Engage that core, hugging the belly to the spine. Finding that normal breath and rhythm. And gently release, come down into child's pose, taking a moment to tune in to the breath, to the body. Maybe even rolling the forehead, massaging the spine. And then gently, gently rise back up. All right. Definitely starting to feel that energy, how kind of waking up that body. So next what we're going to do is we're going to kind of have a little bit of a heart opener with some movement. So you're going to be on your knees. So if you need something to put underneath your knees, it's a great time to grab something. And you're going to do a little bit of a back bend, and you're going to have your palms facing forward. So you're going to do a little bit of a back bend, okay? And we're going to move our hands in circles. Okay, so we're going to kind of move that. So we're really opening up the heart here, even getting some upper body movement. We're only going to do this for a minute. So just 1 minute, move those hands in circles. So you're bending backwards. You can keep your gaze up, but make sure to keep breathing. No breath of fire, just keep the normal breath here. And move at a pace that works for you with the hands. Almost halfway there. Keep that breath moving. Open up that heart to the sky. That big heart. And inhale, suspend the breath. Lock the thumbs together. Inhale, reach up. Hold that inhale in. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. And exhale as you relax down. Come back into child's pose. Taking a moment of rest. Bringing the forehead down. Noticing what sensations are present in the body. All right. Slowly, slowly roll up so that you're sitting back on your heels. Kick your hips off to one side and bring your legs out in front of you. If you want to sit on the edge of a blanket or a towel or anything underneath the hips, that can feel good to lower any sort of tension that's in the lower back and the hips. So what we're going to do next is we're simply going to be in a forward fold. But we're going to stay here for about 2.5 minutes. So you might be like, wow, that's a long time. If you've been in a yin class with me, that's actually not a long time. But I want you to feel comfortable with doing whatever you need. If you want to bend your legs and just fold forward to release the hips and the lower back, to really release some tension, feel free to do that. If you can hold on to the soles of your feet, then feel free to grab that. See if you can let the head and the neck relax. And see if you can, with your eyes closed, or if you want to keep the soft gaze open, see if you can bring your gaze to the third eye. Imagining like there is an eye in between both of your eyes, in between your eyebrows. And that really represents our intuition, our wisdom, our clarity in life. So stay in the forward fold for about another 2 minutes. And just normal breath here. And tune into your body. If you need to bend your legs, if you need to add more props here to get comfortable, then do so.
Sweetheart, you look a little tired. When did you last eat?
Let the jaw relax.
Trying to make yourself right at home. Stay as long as you need. Tell me something wrong, if something's wrong, you can call me. You know I'll take my heart, clean apart if it helps your street. It's okay if you can't find the word. Let me take your cold and sway out of your
About halfway there. Keep the breath moving, adjust as needed.
like a force to be reckoned with. A mighty ocean or a gentle
Gaze at that third eye. Relax the jaw, relax the teeth.
Like a tidal wave, make a mess. Come on, this is not searching fast. I will love you without any strings attached. It's okay if you can't catch your breath. You can take the oxygen straight out of my lungs.
Less than a minute. Keep that gaze at the third eye. Keep that breath moving at your own rhythm. Feel free to back off and take a break if you need.
I know exactly how it goes.
Slowly start to roll up one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, then back down. The song you just heard was actually an Enneagram series by one of my favorite music artists called Sleeping at Last. He has a song for each Enneagram type. And oh, the lyrics make you feel so understood. So I just played the 2 song for us. So in case anyone's curious. All right, so we're gonna do a mini meditation before we come down to our final pose of Shavasana. So this is gonna be a meditation to calm the heart. So just find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on the edge of a blanket or a pillow, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to have our left hand on our heart. So find that heart, place your left hand on the heart, the palm is flat against the chest. And then you're gonna bring the right hand into what's Gyan Mudra. So you're gonna take your thumb and your index finger. And then I want you to paste the other 3 fingers together. You can relax the elbows down by the side. So Gyan Mudra, this is for wisdom, for knowledge, and we're placing our left hand as a way to connect to our heart center. Close the eyes. And just take a moment, take about the next minute and a half to focus on the breath. Maybe even noticing the chest expanding with every inhale. Feeling that heart doing what it does best. If the mind wanders, just simply coming back to the breath. Very gently coming back to where you are, opening the eyes, releasing the hands, and making your way onto your back for Shavasana. Finding anything comfortable, pillows, blankets, letting yourself relax down and taking this moment to transmute all that energy that you released into transformative changes in and outside of the body, moving that prana around. Slowly start to deepen the breath, bringing movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, stretching the arms up overhead, stretching the legs out in front of you. And when you're ready, rolling over onto either side, coming into a fetal position. Taking a moment here to collect the breath to start anew. And when you're ready, coming back onto your mat in a comfortable seated position. You can choose to sit on the edge of a block, a blanket, a pillow, whatever feels comfortable to you. Palms together at the heart, gently tucking the chin in, activating the throat lock. Giving gratitude to ourselves for showing up to our yoga practice. Giving gratitude to our mind, our body, our breath, our prana. And giving gratitude to those in our lives that show up for us and support us. Bringing awareness to the heart space in this moment. If we have more room to give, spreading this out to our community, perhaps our city, our state. If we have more room out to our whole country, perhaps the whole world, the whole universe, giving gratitude to all beings. May you always have the ability to tap into the heart and to receive as much as you give, and to give as much as you receive. I thank each and every one of you for joining me in this Kundalini practice for the Enneagram Type 2. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at theexpandinglotus@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, theexpandinglotus.com. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.